All right, John Stothton here, Fortune 500 CFO and famous Norwegian ice dancer. Now, I have a good friend with me here today. He works in the office. He works in the office of one of the companies I own. He's a good guy, and we wanted to talk about something. Might be a little bit of a dicey issue, but you know, we talk about the tough things here. You know, we don't shy away from the hard topics. So, first, why don't you introduce yourself, buddy?
Hey, John. Thanks for inviting me to do this. My name's Tim Watson. Like John said, I work in the office, one of his offices. Mm-hmm. And we were just bullshitting about this the other day, so he decided to let's just record something about it. Yeah, right.
So it seems like our new president is gonna be Joe Biden.
Seems that way.
I mean, you know,
based on what we know on this particular day.
Yeah, I mean, with all this mail-in voting stuff, though, it seems like it's always up in the air. It seems like, you know, dude. I mean, it seems so. It's like so hard to track that.
What a shit show this whole thing is, man.
Honestly,
it really fucking is.
Yeah, I mean,
it's embarrassing.
I mean, yeah, they really. It seems like you could not have carried this out in a sloppier way.
Yep.
I mean, they got the votes in, and it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be about 3 days before we can actually start tallying up the wins. And it's like, are you out of your mind?
I mean, I'll be honest, that part isn't the part that surprises me. It's just how, like, I don't know, man. I like hop on Twitter every once in a while. I don't really use it. I just read some people's shit, and I was like checking out Trump's tweets over this whole thing, and I'm like, man, this guy's out of his fucking mind. Like, he's just like, you know, we're like 2 days in, he's like, oh, stop the count, like, stop counting votes. Mm-hmm. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's like, isn't that weird? It's like, why would you ever stop counting? Isn't the whole point to not stop counting
until you're done?
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, okay, we're a third of the way through, and it's like, oh, and he's like, oh, I'm ahead, so just stop there.
Yeah,
it's like, what about the rest of the 2/3? It's like, well, that might mean that he'll pull ahead, and I don't like that. Yeah, so like, let's just stop it now.
It's like, I don't think I've ever seen a football game where they're 3/4 of the way through the game, and they're like, oh, we're winning, we're good, we're gonna end the game here. I think we're good.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna race some dude in my car. It's like, oh, I just pulled ahead of you, so I won.
Yeah,
it's like, well, you're not done until we get to the finish line. It's like, no, we're good. You stop now. Once I'm ahead, then we're good. All right.
I know.
It's the fuck. Like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. It's
Jesus
just.
Christ.
I don't know. And it's like there were actually people going to like voting, like the voting counts, the counting centers. There were actually people. There are like groups of people going there and like chanting shit for both sides. Both sides. They're chanting shit like, you know. Like it was like chant, like either they chant being like either keep counting or stop counting or whatever. Do you think
how do you even have an option?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, someone should just, whoever's running that shit goes outside and be like, all right, everyone shut up for a second. We're gonna finish it because what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, like
you just stop. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, it's and then the somehow even dumber was there'd be groups. Like, I'm sure this was happening on both sides, but just for example, there'd be groups for Trump's people. In one state, they'd be chanting "Stop counting." In another state, they'd be chanting "Keep counting," depending on whether he was above or ahead or behind.
Jesus Christ!
In that state, so it's like, what are we doing?
Dude.
It's like, and yeah, the counters aren't going to go outside and be like, oh, there's like at least 50 people chanting. I have to stop.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you guys made your point clear. I'm going to go ahead and tell them to stop. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are we doing?
I know.
It's goddamn embarrassing, man.
Yeah,
what an embarrassing time to be part of this fucking country.
I know.
I feel like everyone's like a goddamn crybaby, and like this whole thing is just like, you know what this whole thing reminds me of? It reminds me of, like, with these fucking presidents, it's like, do you ever see those, you know, clips before like a UFC fight and they have the guys go to the weigh-in and you know the media is like,
oh yeah,
they're like, make a little show, you know, and you know they start yelling at each other in the parking lot or like the parking garage or whatever the hell it is. It's like the whole purpose is to like drum up attention for this fight or whatever. It's like, that's literally what this shit is.
Yeah,
and it's like fucking stupid.
I know.
And I'm like, it's just so, like, especially in that thing in the beginning when Trump's like, you know, he pulled ahead like right in the beginning, or so it seemed to me, and it's like completely obvious that it's like, well, the reason is because the in-person votes were counted first,
Mm-hmm.
and all the in-person ones are the fucking Trumpers.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of the Biden people mailed in. I mean, it's not, as clear cut as that exactly, but that's like, it's fucking obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So
what
it's
are we
like,
doing?
yeah, it's like, why? It's like, you can't just be like, oh, don't count the mail-in votes. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not what I want.
I don't like that.
Yeah. And it's also, why are we
Fucking
even,
stupid.
why are we even doing mail-in votes? Like, this is like the fucking internet age. We have where we supposedly, I mean, now, granted the government isn't really the top of the line in this, but supposedly we're supposed to have like the most cutting edge network security and everything. Why are we bothering when you could just take someone's mail and rip it up and be like, oh, your vote doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
It's like,
man.
submit it online. And then you'd have the results instantly.
Yeah, I mean, that would make the most sense to me. I'll be honest, I'm not an expert in that, so I don't know. I imagine like people would spend every second of every day trying to figure out a way to fuck with that site or whatever the hell it is. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah. I know
don't
they
know.
would. But the whole point is, we should be able, there should be security measures. There are security measures to prevent that. I mean, it's, with like, I mean, look, this isn't, I'm not an expert. I'm not an absolute expert, although I'm a general expert in everything, let's be honest. But, between setting up, between setting up TLS protocols and, whatever, setting up the encryption schemes properly, you should be able to secure it well enough. It's more secure than just a piece of paper floating around, physically floating around. I mean,
Yeah, man, it's one of those situations where I'm like, you know what? I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it's not however it's being done right now.
Yeah.
With this shit.
Let me say, the right answer is that no one should have voted. They should have been like, these two options suck.
Yep.
And we're not taking part in this shitty, let's choose let's choose a bag of shit from this guy or a bag of shit from this guy. It's like, well, I don't want a bag of shit at all. So I'm not taking either one of them.
Well, you're going to take it and you're going to like it.
Yeah, right?
That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Dude, I know.
I mean-
What a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing's such a joke. And I'm like, do you look at, Trump tweeted a couple times and he's like, he literally wrote, like after they, officially, I guess you could say officially called the race and said Biden won. He's been going on Twitter like 5 times a day going like, I won the election.
Yeah.
I won. And like my
Yeah,
favorite part
that's
is like
cool.
Twitter keeps flagging them all as like misleading because they're like, we know you're the president, but like you're wrong, so we're just gonna flag it anyway.
Yeah.
It's like saying the dumbest shit, and I'm just like, it's just one of those situations where I'm like, there's nobody that can just tell this guy like, hey, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It makes me think
You're a
like,
fucking
what, because
idiot.
he still has, I don't know what, he still has till the end of the year before he actually has to
Sometime in
leave,
January,
before he
yeah.
actually leaves office. So it's like, what is he going to do in those days? I mean, he could just like, hide a bunch of shit in the walls of the White House. He could do anything.
Probably will.
Just throw a bunch of, just like, tie up a bunch of bags of shit and throw them in the vents or whatever. Let that stew for a while once
I mean-
Biden gets in there.
Might as well. I would probably do that.
Yeah. He
Either way.
may get the idea from us. We may be his inspiration. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
We're fucked.
that's the truth, though. That's the truth
Everything's
is it
fucked.
doesn't. That the truth is it doesn't fucking matter which one of these morons is in office. That's the real truth. They're both people. People are acting like when Biden won, or when it seemed pretty clear that Biden won. There were hordes of people chanting in the streets, chanting in the streets of like cities and whatever, just getting like chanting, like cheering and like celebrating. It's like, what do you people think is gonna happen? Like, what miraculous change do you think is gonna like suddenly come into being with him in office? Because like 4 years ago, there were people chanting in the streets, like from Trump winning. There were all of his
Yep.
supporters were chanting in the streets, saying he's gonna drain the swamp and blah blah. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
So what? Like nothing's
It's the
gonna
same
change.
shit over and
Yeah.
over. Dude, I'll never forget when Trump got elected. That morning, because they called it, whatever. It's like the middle of the night. That morning, I remember walking outside. I walked to the corner of my street, and there was this pickup truck coming down the street, this big, giant, lifted pickup truck blowing smoke with Trump Pence banners on every square inch of it with flags hanging out the back. And he's just revving his engine, going slow as fuck, just down the street, like making all this noise. And I was like, I'm embarrassed to be part of this fucking country.
Yeah. And that guy,
really
like, what Trump did nothing for that guy.
Yeah.
Like fucking, just Mr., whatever he does in his fucking, construction job probably or some shit. Trump did stuff for me because I have billions of dollars. What he did helped me out. Let's be honest. He did something to support the big business guys like me, and you're climbing up the ladder right now. You're gonna get there one day. So ultimately, and guess what? Biden's gonna help me too. They're all gonna help me because Biden. None of these guys hurt once you're rich enough, none of these guys hurt you because they want
even
you.
if they throw a bunch of taxes at you, it's not going to make a dent in your bank account. Who gives a fuck, dude?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's so many.
I mean, I'm halfway up the ladder already, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. You take $40,000 a year away from me.
Yeah.
Who cares?
They need me. They need my support. They're not going to do anything to me. I own them. I'm the president of the United States. Let's be honest.
Dude, you got to run next time, man.
I don't need to run. I tell them what to do, and they do it. It's that simple.
Oh.
Because like what they do hurts. Biden will say he's going to have tax breaks. For lower income pay. It's not going to come from my taxes. Because he needs, people, billionaires. He needs their money. It's going to come from the people in the middle. The people, those poor pieces of shit only making like $500 million a year. It's just those godforsaken, poor ass pieces of shit.
I don't know how you can live off that.
Exactly. Those are the ones that are going to take the hit. So it's like, so who are we hurting? They're all like Biden, Trump, Kamala Harris, whatever her name is. They're all corrupt. They're all capitalist, corrupt people. I don't care if you call them Democrat or, but it doesn't matter. Just make money. Just make money. That's what it's all about. It
is what it's all about.
Yeah.
All right. This thing's got me so stressed out. You mind if can I take one of your Pelotons just to get some stress out?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course you can take. Just yesterday I bought 100 more. I just happened to be online and I just happened to see an ad for it. And I was like, fuck it. I can do that. Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, you can take 5. I don't care.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, you got it. I don't even use them. It doesn't matter. I've never used one of them. I don't even know how they work. They're just stacked in boxes all across my warehouses.
Well, I hope to get to your level one day, John.
Yeah, you're gonna get there.
And buy the same stuff.
Yeah, you'll get there. Believe me. All right. Well, that was a good discussion. I thought, that was very interesting. So, there's a good wrap up of the current situation. I'm the president of the United States. I control the government. And you know what? You're going to be there one day too. You're going to be the president of the United States too. We don't need to run. So, that's it. That's it, guys. See you next time.